Massive changes incoming. This changes everything for the New Jersey Devils. When you have a chance to be aggressive, why not? What's the worst that could happen? Let's talk about it. Welcome in to Devils Digest, all newest, latest rumors, news, and updates on the New Jersey Devils. All season, all offseason long, and we want all 100% of you a part of it as we break down the offseason. 47% of you not subscribed yet. We want all 100% as we head into the offseason. So, Tom Fitzgerald and Sheldon Keefe spoke to the media today, 11 a.m., and kind of, went over the season and what to expect for next year as we go into the offseason. And Tom Fitzgerald alluded to change. Here's the full quote. "We won't be coming back with the same group because it was just not good enough. I like our group. My job is to continue to better the group. And we've got a lot of decisions to make on certain players. Bring back guys back, trade players." Look, I love this from Tom Fitzgerald. Because, when you go to the offseason and you're at the trade deadline, everyone's always talking about the cap. Well, is this player going to fit in with the cap? Is that player going to fit in? Can we make this trade work? Well, my response always kind of is, it's the GM's job to be able to work the cap and make the team better. You look at the Devils' cap situation, not in a great spot. Well, that's Tom Fitzgerald's job, to make the team better and put the cap in a little bit of a better spot while making the team better. I mean, he goes ahead and says, trade players. Nothing's off the board here during this offseason for Tom Fitzgerald. He's open to all ideas on making this team better. I mean, we saw when the season ended, Erik Haula was kind of just like, it was an average year for us. We expected a lot more. And I think when you look at this team in totality, I'd have to agree. I think we probably expected a little bit more than 42 wins, 91 points, first round exit against a Carolina team that had just gotten rid of their two best players. Probably expected a little bit more than that. Maybe kind of a little bit of down year. I mean, Tom Fitzgerald pointed to the fact, at one point this team went 7 straight games with 20 shots or under. And then it kind of went wrong. Kind of talking about before in December when the team looked really good, Stanley Cup contender, and trying to figure out where things went wrong. That's what he was kind of saying. Now, going and looking at what he's looking at, or what I think kind of what you got from today and just in general what he's looking at, they need another top 6 forward. It's crystal clear. Offensively, top end scoring, just wasn't there enough this year. They just didn't have maybe the personnel to put into place to be a top offensive team. I mean, they finished 20th in the NHL. Yeah, you're looking at teams like Buffalo, Montreal, LA, ahead of them. Kraken, Seattle Kraken. Yeah, they probably should have been a better offensive team than some of those teams. Now, yeah, Montreal, a little bit more fun, a little bit younger, dynamic, better than they used to be. Buffalo, well, they're usually towards the bottom of the NHL in most categories. Pittsburgh's getting older. So I look at all those teams that finish in front of them. Devils finished behind, probably shouldn't have 240 goals on the season. It clearly just wasn't enough. Now, they start off the offseason with a pretty nice signing. Arsenij Griciuk. He's cheap. He's dynamic. He has upside. You feel good there because, like I said, you go to the cap, and that's one way to work around the cap. Getting a young player who has upside cheap. That's what the Devils did here. They go and they get a cheap Arsenij Griciuk who has an upside to be a top 6 player. Be a top 6 player who's not, kind of just there in the lineup. No, someone who's going to go out there and create, make the team a little bit better. Go from 20th in the NHL to, at least a couple spots up just off him alone. Now, do we know exactly what he's going to do when he comes over to the NHL? No, we don't. But the risk you take, kind of a low risk, high reward type of move. Artemi Griciuk played pretty well in the KHL, keeps getting better. Devils have a top 6 opening. Yeah, works out for me. Now, some of the players who are going to be available come free agency. Here are some of the top forwards, because that's what he's alluding to. He's talking about the offense. Defensively, they were really good. Top penalty kill. Made their goaltenders look pretty well. Jacob Markstrom can take away a lot of it. I mean, he's in the playoffs, one of the top goaltenders in terms of saves above expected. Didn't let up a lot of high danger scoring chances go in, even though he faced a ton. So he's definitely alluding to the offense. 240 goals for with a third-ranked power play, and math's not adding up 5-on-5. There's something wrong there. Going into looking at, some of the free agents who should be available for this offseason, I mean, going down the list, look, Tavares, Marner aren't going anywhere. I said hypothetically, if Mitchell Marner becomes available, are you really looking at the cap? Probably not. You find a way to move some other players out. I've never understood that argument. But some of the other players, do you want to spend a little bit more and go get a Nikolai Ehlers? Because Nikolai Ehlers, I mean, we've heard for years now. Maybe not super happy there. Maybe wants to leave. Maybe not happy with the direction of Winnipeg, even though they just won a President's Trophy. There's some rumors with Nikolai Ehlers. Feels like for the past 4 seasons now. Could leave, could be available. We'll see there. A guy who I like, and I've liked for a while now, and really kind of questioned Vancouver's thinking with this one, was letting go of our Andrei Kuzmenko. Look, Andrei Kuzmenko, maybe doesn't play the most amount of defense, but in terms of skill, dynamic, thinking the game, one of the most underrated players in the NHL. I mean, you saw what he was doing over in LA. Short, time frame, really good in LA. Is that someone who they could go after during the offseason? Now, does Andrei Kuzmenko go, well, you know what, I'm liked here. We played pretty well. We have a good team. I want to stay. Potentially. But if that's a player who becomes available to you, and he's going to probably be, on the cheaper side of things, that's someone you definitely look at. I mean, here, I'm going to bring it up, the wingers. A little bit of a smaller graph, so you don't have to maybe, squint as much at what you're looking at. But, Kuzmenko, I think, makes a lot of sense for New Jersey. Cheaper, can score, dynamic. Jack Hughes could use maybe another one of those players. That's something where I'd look at. Now, top 6, we know needs a little bit extra scoring. We saw it a couple years ago. Fitzgerald kind of said that they needed it. That's why he traded Igor Sharangovich for Tyler Toffoli. And then all of a sudden now they're both gone. And the next offseason we're looking at guys like Stefan Nason, Paul Cotter for a 7th overall, Alexander Holtz, who was supposed to be, kind of fixing that future in terms of goal scoring. So it was a little bit of an interesting offseason last year. I was one of the few Devil fans who wasn't particularly happy. I mean, I was happy with, obviously, Brett Pesce, Jacob Markstrom, but when you don't fill all your needs, even you can get all the players you want, but you don't fill your needs, it leaves a little bit of a sour taste in your mouth. I felt like I was eating Skittles over M&Ms, and I don't eat Skittles. I love M&Ms. I can eat them all. But it almost felt like that. Even though getting, the Jacob Markstrom and the Brett Pesce, that's kind of how I felt about last offseason. You kind of looked and you're like, oh, we still need a top 6 winger. We're still not good enough in the top 6. And they didn't fix it in the offseason, didn't fix it at the deadline. And, I mean, that's 42 wins and a first-round exit. Now, obviously, going off of the top 6, bottom 6, you need to find a third-line center. Fourth-line center, you didn't have solved all season long. Kurtis Lazar was hurt. You didn't really have another option between, Justin Dowling, maybe Cody Glass goes down. You didn't solve it. So that's third line center at the least needs to be solved. And then you can move a guy like Glass down and you feel much better. But that's where you're looking. Because in terms of defense, you're basically all good there. You have a ton of options. You have some guys developing. You're probably not going to spend a lot at defense. Offensively, though, you got to get some more in the top 6. You got to be a little bit stronger. You got to have a little bit more options. Defensively, ton of options. Not too worried about it. Offensively, top 6 needs to be stronger. You have the best center duo in the Metropolitan. Not really up for debate at all. But you can't have a completely lacking, third line center. Fourth line, they're probably going to be okay there when they can get that third line center and move some guys down. Third line centers are going to be a struggle. They have to go find that. So what I think, and again, I'm not in the mind of Tom Fitzgerald, but what I can do is read what he said. And what he said is, we're basically open to everything. We're open to trades. We're open to signings. We're open to, going out and giving an offer sheet. They're open to basically everything. Good news as a Devil fan. Feel probably pretty good about that. But, let me know in the comments. Let me know who you would like to see the Devils sign during the offseason, who you'd like to see them maybe trade for, offer sheet. Let me know. Give it all out there. Hopefully you guys hit the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys really soon. All right, take care, guys.